Hello, everybody. Thank you for joining us today. Today is the second day of the Saudi lifestyle exhibition. I'm really happy to have different audiences in all the panel talks that we are hosting at this venue. Today is the second day. We have 2 panel talks, and tomorrow will be our last day as well. Each of the topics that we have chosen is not only centered within the topic of fashion, but it goes deeper than that. It goes to the different elements of business growth, sustainability, culture and heritage, and what the different meanings of fashion hold economically and culturally here in Saudi. Today we're going to talk about something that is not only important for the environment, but I think we're going to talk about it from a business perspective and from the different perspectives of entrepreneurs in the different fields of sustainable fashion. And it is a challenge today to have a brand that's successful in sustainable fashion. However, the opportunities are also growing. And I love, honestly, the mix of guests that we have today, each from different perspectives and different fields. I would love to start with Maryam and then come down the line with the guests. If you could, each one of you, please introduce yourself and also identify your entity.
My name is Maryam Hani Aref. I'm a Saudi tennis player and I'm also a pharmacist.
Latifa Sudairy. I am the founder and owner of Thoub Saghiri, a children's brand.
This is Fadhel, founder of Qitmeer from Wasted Dates, vegan leather from Wasted Dates.
Hi everyone, I'm Mehaweg, French and Lebanese. I'm the CEO and co-founder of Maison Safqa. Maison Safqa is a fashion tech platform that helps brands generate revenue from the overstock by making premium and luxury brand more accessible to new audiences and by doing it through flash events online.
I want to start with Latifa because Latifa's journey in the fashion industry reflects the exact direction that the field itself is taking towards sustainability. Because before the talk, I was mentioning that I bought beautiful pieces from Latifa years ago, which are still brand new, but now she's gone more towards a more focused, sustainable approach. Please tell us more about your brand and the passion or the goal behind creating this brand.
So the main reason why this brand came to fruition or to life was after having my first boy. I found that one, boys don't have a lot of options when it comes to clothing. And the second thing was that I wanted something that represented our heritage, but in a way that was easy to wear, comfortable, and most importantly, that was safe for them. So I went down the rabbit hole, like every mother does in other areas, whatever their interest is in. And I started researching about material and how we can help the environment to some extent to just lower our emission on this planet. So I went down on the kinds of materials, the kind of zippers, how I can make it better, and then slowly but surely the brand came to life.
But you're not only a designer, you're also a businesswoman. You're also an entrepreneur. And I was telling Lemise earlier that whenever an artist or a designer enters the field of sustainability, yes, there are a lot of opportunities, but the first thing that comes there is that there's a trade-off. There's a trade-off between increasing your margins and making more money. And being more, in the words of entrepreneurs, scalable, versus being more niche, but serving your own purpose. And you as a businesswoman, you were put between both paths. But what does that mean to have a business that you want to make sure is sustainable, but at the same time is continuously profitable and will live for many years?
So do I continue or?
Let's wait a few seconds.
It's
The irony, they're also talking about sustainability.
So it's a very good question, and it's about for me, it's about slow fashion, not fast fashion. So with slow fashion, it's not about a very fast turnover. And that is how I am trying to find the balance between being hopefully a successful brand and between staying within the realms or the ideas that I started this brand with. So yeah, basically it's just slow fashion, it's about quality, not quantity.
But you went all in. I mean, you took the fabric to laboratories, you got it tested, you got it tested so much where the end goal was that this is a heritage piece. It can go from generation to generation. So that wasn't just your message, but you made sure that your material is durable enough for us to practice that. Having said that, so you kind of innovated your own kind of fabric that would go ahead with your message so we can practice what you preach. But I would also like to hear a different perspective. We know that Maryam is an athlete, and one of the things that athletes do is they wear new garments every day. It's very difficult to practice in a particular set and then rewear that set the second day. So the amount of washing and dry cleaning that's happening with sportswear is a lot. However, I do know, and we did speak before the panel discussion started, that for you guys, functionality and practicality is very important when it comes to the garment fit and the garment feel, because that can't hold you back while you're playing. But maybe there is more of a journey for activewear to reach that point where they create pieces that are functional yet sustainable. Correct? Do you?
So as a tennis player, and as a Saudi tennis player, of course, I play in different places, sometimes in Saudi, sometimes abroad in Spain, in France, in UAE. And all of these people are seeing that I'm representing Saudi. And you have to also show them what our culture is. So a typical tennis outfit is a tennis skirt or a tennis dress. And as a Saudi girl, I wear underneath it leggings and then a skirt. So I'm seeing now recently more brands doing this idea of having a skirt with attached with a leggings, or a dress and attached with it leggings instead of the shorts underneath. So this is one of the things that has been changing recently, since Saudi girls and more Arab girls are playing all over the world. And sometimes Asian people prefer not to be exposed to the sun, so they also prefer this like wearing leggings underneath the skirt. And according to sustainability, of course we need something sustainable. We can't be using natural material because, for example, they're gonna get worn out quickly. And for example, if I play sometimes in winter, whether here in Riyadh or abroad, if I wear wool, for example, it's gonna shrink and I'm gonna need to wash it like every day. Every day or every 3 days, according to how many luggage I get with me on the trip. So yes, we do definitely need sustainability, polyester and nylon in our material that helps with harsh workouts and vigorous workouts we're sweating a lot, whether it's winter, whether it's summer, we need this sustainability.
And I think this is a great market opportunity for a lot of innovators in the fashion field, since that's slightly untapped till now. And one of Saudi's visions for 2030 is to reach a particular level of sustainability. Incorporating that into sports and sportswear, I think, would be a beautiful addition to the growth that the fashion sector and scene is witnessing in Saudi. Having said that, I would love to jump to Leah. And before I get start asking you questions, I would love for you to explain what your fashion does exactly, or your brand does, sorry, because you work more on a B2B, B2C basis. So you're not really innovating anything, but you're adding something to the whole formula to make sure that the waste is less.
Exactly. So, unless the ladies that really come, let's say, at the very beginning of the product life cycle, with Maison Safqa, we decide to really take the end of the product life cycle. Everything that's left as overstock, everything that's past season collection, that would, let's say, stay on the shelves of a warehouse, or just sometimes even for some brand gets destroyed, sent to landfills even, and participate to the amount of waste generation that we know that in the textile industry is quite big as of today, in the world and in the region as well. So basically, with Maison Safqa, we decided to come up with a really unique model for the region and for Saudi Arabia, which is basically taking all of this overstock from premium to luxury brand, be it in fashion, in beauty, in lifestyle brand as well, sportswear brand as well, and put it in a very elevated shopping environment, whereby we make, let's say, this overstock accessible to smart shopper, trend-savvy customers, etc. So today it's an online business. So basically we work on a time-limited model to make sure that we don't overexpose the brand, that we present with different discounts, started at 30% and sometimes going a bit more up, depending on the season collection, on the brand segment, etc.
This is not only from a sustainability point of view, but I think the incentive is for a lot of business owners is that you're reducing the cost of inventory, correct?
Definitely.
So I'm sure that is something that encouraged them to join you and get on board.
Definitely. And not only, actually, there's also something that's going on today in the fashion industry, which is that, especially I would say for the big brand, when they have leftovers, the easiest way would be to send it to the parallel market, where usually the company will buy at a very, very aggressive price and really devaluate a lot the brand equity and the prestige of the brand. And as Maison Safqa, we really want to come as a first, let's say, a very first lever, a very first resort, before eventually the rest of the brands will end up being, let's say, sold at a very aggressive discount.
I've seen this business model with F&B and restaurants, but I think it's very new for the fashion industry. And I don't know, how challenging was it in the beginning to introduce this concept to businesses? Were they eager to know more, or were they skeptical to join?
Look, it really depends. So, for example, from where I come from Europe, it's a very successful business model. It has been going on for years and years. There are big companies that have been in the market for 20 years, but here no one was actually doing this. So when it comes to presenting to brands, to local distributors, there's a lot of awareness that you need to do. There's a lot of awareness because, of course, it's not the easiest way to go for a new company, a startup that proposes this business model. So luckily enough, we've also had on our board really, let's say, retail veterans in Saudi and in UAE that are helping us a lot with bringing, let's say, a bit more of awareness around the business model. And so far we're doing great. We're able to onboard more and more regional retailers, Saudi brands as well, that have been made with a lot of success since we started. But I would say that there's a lot of awareness on the customer side as well, because again, business model is very new, so you need to educate both parties.
Having said that, the field of sustainable fashion or sustainable art is new, but it's also very broad, and you can innovate with it in whichever way. Just like we have Latifa's brand is very different than your brand, and is very different than Lemise's brand, but they're all under the umbrella of sustainability. But they're also all under the umbrella of creativity and art. Lemise, can you give us an angle of how your pieces are contributing to sustainable art, but at the same time, do let us know which aspect you chose to make your product sustainable.
Absolutely. So Qitmeer is a vegan leather from wasted dates. It's one of a kind in Saudi and in the world. This is the first time someone actually do a vegan leather from the wasted dates. As known in Saudi Arabia, we've got a huge amount of wasted dates. It's almost 1.5 million tons. So we can turn this into a creative way to come up with a vegan leather using this waste. From here, it comes the creativity path that I'm looking for. Also, I'm going through the samples right now as I'm showcasing them in my booth. Long journey and ups and downs, but still looking for the best result to create an actual product that will be used in accessory and fashion industry in general.
So I applaud you on that, and it's such a beautiful idea.
Thank you.
And it's so innovative, and it sounds so exotic. I mean, made out of dates. But it's very new, and I'm sure as a businesswoman today, launching something like this that didn't only need to maintain the sustainability angle of, accounting and making sure you will be sustainable as a business in the long run, but also educating and giving awareness on this product, not only on the sustainability side, but the fact that there is something called date leather.
Yes, absolutely.
How are you doing that? How are you educating your consumers about your product?
So, again, the waste amount is huge. It could be used for different ways. One of them is animal food, but this one is a creative way, and using this is as advantage for the brand, Qitmeer. But for the sustainability in general, it also follows the Green's vision of the 2030
the requirements
visions
of the vision, and it does also fulfill the goals.
This one. So I'm still going through the journey of exploring the potentials of the material and see what could be done. And I just want to add that I want also to show the world that there's much more to dates than what it's made for now. As Qitmeer, future potential is going. The limit is the sky for Qitmeer, actually. Future potentials are going crazy. The samples are going very well. So much expectations from the material.
What makes date leather unique? Let alone the sustainable aspect of it, but if you are going to promote the brand itself, it sounds very exotic, but I haven't heard of it before, and I'm sure a lot of the guests here haven't heard of it either. So introduce us to the concept of what date leather is.
A date leather is could be used as an alternative for the natural leather. In the tanneries, for the natural leather, using a huge amount of chemicals, which is harming the environment. So, in the other hand, we've got the vegan leather, Qitmeer for now, the dates leather in specific. According to your question, to be more specific about it, it could be more than just a leather and this is it. It also represents the Saudi heritage, also using the most known symbol of Saudi, the dates, from the palm tree, which is shown in the flag as well. And that also encourage our culture.
Beautiful, and I'm really excited to see your products.
Thank you.
I applaud you on the concept. It's
Thank you.
beautiful. And it has a beautiful luxury aspect to it as well, which you can play on. So
Indeed.
that's really innovative.
Thank you.
I'll go back to you, Latifa, because I consider you one of the pioneering brands when it comes to Saudi sustainable fashion. And you already have a great expertise establishing business in the Saudi fashion scene. What does sizing the sustainable fashion business look like today? What do you think it'll look like tomorrow? What are our opportunities for the coming few years? Is it growing? Because the sustainable fashion market is always looked upon as a small market because it's niche. And those who want to buy from it, or the consumers, are also a very small category. But at the same time, there's a lot of awareness, and the activities towards that direction are increasing. And I'm sure you have perspective towards where we're heading towards this and how your business can also grow, and other businesses, of course, in sustainable fashion.
So let me start off with saying that sustainability is no longer an option, it's a requirement. So when consumers and companies think of it as something that is a must, the scalability of it becomes easier. As you mentioned, the vision of 2030, sustainability is one of the main points or issues that are risen, and all of us are trying to get to that in a way that makes sense. And it's worth mentioning as well, when we're talking about sustainability, a lot of people think there's an entity that has a checklist that says this is sustainable. In the sustainability world, there's no clear lines or points that we have to check in order to call ourselves sustainable. It's about sustainable practices. So we have to be very aware of brands that greenwash, meaning they say they are sustainable and it's only about the material. What we're trying to preach or talk about, it's about the whole cycle.
It's the practice as well.
It's the practices you have for the brand, behind the scenes and in front of the scenes. So for example, I will take Thoub Saghiri as an example and say, we try to use machines when we're doing printing, not to use too much water. That's one point that I find important, that is important to me. We only use digital printing because it doesn't fade when washing, especially with kids' clothing. You wash them a lot of times, especially if they like it. So it's just trying to show that anything you get or anything you buy or you produce, you could always find a way to just be kinder to this planet and find your own points that are very important without greenwashing.
And the way you say it, it just shows that you have so much responsibility towards educating people, educating your consumers, and that's so important and crucial for the consumption of your goods. So it's not only from the responsibility point of view, but it's also crucial for your products to move. And how do you do that, Latifa? I mean, it just makes your side of brand awareness so much more. So functioning your business is double the effort, I think, than functioning any other business in the world of fashion.
It's 2 points actually that I love. One of the main points that I love about this brand is, don't forget, your heritage is a sustainable element. It's something that will live on for years and years to come. So bringing those two things into one brand has been an eye-opener for me. So learning about different areas of Saudi Arabia and learning about the patterns and how I can make them in a way that could be on children's clothing, that is fun and youthful. And so when I'm telling the story of the brand, I'm not only telling the story of one aspect of it, I'm telling the story of our heritage as well. So it is fun, it does have its challenges, but I love the fact that some people, when they walk, they are drawn to it. And our patterns are not only, should be in your own area, meaning a lot of people can appreciate it, like we have appreciated a lot of other heritage from other countries, other nations. So this time we're trying to educate people and export our heritage and the story that comes behind it.
And I feel like it's so important that you're passionate about your goal when you launch that, because I see a lot of responsibilities, double the effort. But kudos to you, and hopefully it does come back to you and in a lot of blessings, I would say, business-wise. Hopefully, and I love the talk with all of you girls. Unfortunately, we're tight with time, so I have to ask my last question, and I'd ask Maryam that, inspired by Latifa's answer just now. She said it's all about practice. And Maryam, you did mention that there's a gap in active wear when it comes to sustainability, but it's about practice as well. So what do you do, not from the purchasing point of view, but from the practicing and consuming these active wears to make sure that in some level it's sustainable? For example, do you wash all your clothes in a particular day of the week, or is it the way you layer your clothes from season to season, just so your consumption is more ethical?
First of all, I loved what Latifa said, that our heritage is sustainable. I love this, like it's a quote, you should quote it. And so yeah, when I wear like tennis outfit or fitness outfit, I'm actually a fan of the color black. So most of my outfits are black, but sometimes because I play for the club and we have different colors and different t-shirts, so usually I'm not a very difficult person in that aspect. All of my outfits are black and all go together.
Because they're more durable?
Honestly, yes, and usually I try different types. You have to try and see what suits you most, but I like something when you're working out for 4 to 5 hours daily and having breaks and going back to work out, it's tiring to wear something that isn't sustainable. You get tired because during my time, I'm telling you about my personal experience, like I have 2 hours in the morning workout, and then I have to go and do a few things, my own thing,
and then come back
as a pharmacist, and then I go back to working out again in the evening. So you have to be wearing something sustainable, and you have to be wearing something that is also, that gets dry quickly.
Multifunctional, yeah.
Yes. So usually about every 3 days I wash my outfits all together, and I can tell you that because when I travel as well, I'm very conscious with the amounts I have and the outfits I have left. Not like when I'm in home. I have different varieties and different things to wear. So yeah, every 3 days usually.
This panel is truly a variety or a collection of the different kind of practices that make sustainable fashion in the Saudi fashion scene so effective, and hopefully it's going towards something that is more sustainable, but also something that we are practicing more and more, and it's less of a challenge with time. So we have Maryam, who is sustainable through her consumer choices and the way she handles her clothes. We have Latifa, who's touched on a pain point, which is not only sustainable fashion, but when it comes to our kids who are growing so fast, who we wash clothes and children's garments several times a week, and somebody who has innovated a material from something that represents our heritage, but we would have never thought that this is something that could turn into a luxury good. And you didn't mention that it's luxury, but I look at it as luxury because of the way you've described it. And we have Leah as well, who has not particularly innovated a product, but she's innovated a functionality where she's reducing the waste of different businesses, and of course, on the other end, giving consumers the opportunity to buy things on a more affordable benchmark. This was the panel discussion. Thank you all for being here, but I would also love, and I insist on this, to give everybody a chance for a Q&A, because we have such a rich collaboration of minds right now. So whoever has questions, please feel free to ask any of the panelists any question regarding sustainability or fashion in general.
Hi everyone, so I'm Maryam from Europe, so I moved to the region recently. I'm very passionate about fashion. Actually, I'm from a big family and I have a twin sister, so like make it very like aligned together to be more like women, part of a very man family. And I have one point that I'm working right now with my team in Europe. So, is the pricing on sustainability on the fashion industry. Sometimes we feel the pricing model on the items are quite expensive. And I'm working right now with AI to be able to propose something that is more sustainable and being able to propose the right price to the right item. And I wanted to get just your thought on that point relating about sustainability.
Should I?
Yeah.
Okay, so you are 100% correct. Not a lot of, in this industry, and mostly in other industries, when it comes to practices of sustainability, not every manufacturer gives you that option. So when the machines or the products that make use less water or less harmful inks, harmful dyes, all these things, that's why I said it's very important that the consumer and the brand keep on pushing on that, because if there is a demand, more of a demand, then all these manufacturers have to supply what is needed. If there's still an option that people are still looking for quantity and not quality, which it's understandable from a financial point of view, but that's why I'm saying sustainability shouldn't be an option. It should be a requirement. Once that gets through, even the prices, the same thing. When organic material first started, it was 10 times, not 10 times, don't quote me on that, but it was about 25 to 30% more expensive. Now it's down. And so on and so forth, because people are asking for more, they're gonna supply it. So hopefully that answered your question? Yeah?
It does, yeah, thank you. Next questions?
So I had a question for you, actually. You know, it's not every day that, you know, you see waste and then you want to turn it into something, you know, that could be useful for something else. So I was curious as to what inspired you, you know, to just see dates and then turn it into leather. You know, like that's just a crazy, crazy, creative, amazing idea. So, you know, it's like an idea where you just wake up and then you have an idea and then boom, you just go for it. So that's why I'm curious as to what inspired you to do dates.
Thank you. So I was actually back to 3 years ago. I had to do my graduation research and I needed to pick a title for it. I was thinking between tanneries for a natural leather and wasted dates in Saudi, because the huge amount is crazy, 1.5 million tons yearly. So I was thinking in this path and thinking in this path and diving much more into so many ideas until I came up to why not mix the two together and make actually a vegan leather out of it. Vegan leather solving the chemicals in the tanneries, and also using the wasted dates in Saudi. So 2-in-1 makes it one solution, which is the vegan leather, Qitmeer. And this is actually how I came up with the idea.
So like a two birds, one stone kind of thing.
Yes, exactly.
So this research, was it for a class or was it for your college, like a college class?
Yes, it was for college.
Okay,
I finished my graduation research, then I started to do the journey until now.
I see. Okay, cool.
Any other questions? Questions?
Thank you. To be honest, I came here just for my wife, but you took my attention, the dates, to be honest, and that's why I'm asking. The cost of production. Do you have a competitive advantage if you look at other ways of doing leather? This is my first question. And my second question, is it efficient? Like, do you need to use a lot of waste to produce leather? I'm really interested. If you can just explain it more.
Sure, thank you for your interest. For the production mass, for now I'm going in the samples journey, not yet for the final product. Soon enough, inshallah, we'll produce the final product. For the second question, do I need to use lots of waste dates? I mean, the waste amount is huge already, so it's going to be enough for producing the sheets.
Can I ask a question? Because I'm very interested in this. Let's say 1 ton of wasted dates. How much leather can you get out of it? How much material, like how much use can you get out of it? Or you still haven't reached that point to see?
Still haven't, but I'm pretty sure it's a huge amount.
It's going to be,
yes.
So it can, a lot of it can be used?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, because it's not only dates.
The date, it's the, is it the skin of the date as well?
It's the huge, the whole date without
the whole
the
date
pits. Without the pits.
Without the pits.
Yes.
Okay.
Well, I have a question for Maison Safqa. I'm very interested on your business model, but I wanted to know how can you create pieces based on the life cycle that happens here in Saudi Arabia? As you know, we have a couple of seasons. So
Sorry, I didn't hear exactly. How do you guys create the waste stock that you guys have? Is there a way you just buy the waste stock, or do you guys recreate it? I get it. Yes. So basically, like Maison Safqa is, it's a tech platform. So how we work with the brand is that we sit with them, we discuss their overstock challenges, and we look at, okay, what's the amount of actually pieces, what are the collections that we could onboard on Maison Safqa. Then we work with like a tech integration, basically, to upload as easy and seamlessly as possible all of the pieces on our platform. And then we decide on a specific, let's say, period on which we will open, let's say, the flash campaign on the brand. Today, it lasts between 7 to 10 days. So it's also create a kind of excitement for the customers. They're always, let's say, interested to come back on the platform and see what's actually new. And it's also very nice because we treat each of the brand as a new event. So we put a lot of marketing effort. We partner with content creators, influencers, of course, each really, let's say, applicable as much as possible to the tone of the brand, to what they want to convey. Like if we work with a brand that's, let's say, a kids brand or a women brand, we'll actually tailor our campaign and our audience for this specific brand. If we work on, I don't know, menswear, we'll do the same. Of course, we're very young today. We're still, like, let's say, learning a lot about the process. But basically, our goal is really to be able to, as easy as possible, onboard each of the brand, turn them on, turn them off many times a year, so that we can work as much as possible on their overstock as they start accumulating. Yeah, of course.
I know I've finished my turn asking questions, but من بعد إذنكم, if there's something quick I can ask you. What kind of fashion brands are you targeting for them to be on board with you? Because I know that there are fashion brands who might not mind giving you their stock, but still when it comes to high-end fashion, they're very sensitive about where their stock goes or what happens to them. And there are brands that have, they prefer, completely burning or completely, disposing the stock rather than seeing it go somewhere else. Because that eventually harms the value.
Yes.
So how are you dealing with that? Or are you targeting just a particular segment that doesn't get affected by where their supplies are being directed?
No, it's a very good question. So basically, because we've started also to address very high-end and luxury brands, we face this issue of the brands not even wanted to be publicly displayed. So we've actually built kind of a spin-off of our maisonsafqa.com, which is Maison Safqa on invitation only. So basically, when we work with brands that have a higher, let's say, sensitivity to their image. We're crafting now basically a member database that will be exclusively invited to those events. Basically today, everyone that's become a member on maisonsafqa.com, so by creating a free account, will automatically be part of our member database. And whenever we have this on-invitation event that are today online and hopefully very soon offline as well, you'll be able to receive the actual invitation to this on-invitation events. So yeah, to answer your question.
As a beginning, hopefully with time, that sensitivity would reduce because the awareness would have reached all the categories.
Exactly, because again, like when you look at Europe, you have a lot of outlet villages. And in these outlet villages, you'll find among the most luxurious brands, and many people go shop there. And here in the region, they're still very, very, very cautious about that. So again, a lot of education, but it's so exciting really to work on this.
We see where the direction is going, right? We see somewhat of the future. Hopefully it will be on a faster pace.
Yeah. And what's so nice as well is that in the end, we're a marketplace. So we're so flexible as well in the brands we want to onboard and in the direction that we want to take. So ultimately, we also want to be able to onboard a lot of sustainable brands, even your brand actually, you know, because as you grow, you might also face this need of destocking a few items, and it's also a nice way to bring even more awareness to the sustainable brand. So, yeah.
Okay, we have a last question.
Yeah.
Can I give you the mic?
My question is for Maryam. As one of the leading athletes that we've been seeing in fashion and other stuff, are you planning to have like your own brand maybe? Because sometimes when you start thinking about it, you'll be like, an athlete is going to be the only person who knows the needs of an athlete. It could be for tennis, it could be for other sports. We've been seeing a lot of girls entering the sport field in Saudi. So do you have anything in mind?
Yes, Maryam, seize the opportunity.
The ladies are already here, so go ahead.
They always tell you, don't tell people what your next step is. So actually, yeah, I am planning for something, but something particular for Saudi girls mainly, and girls that want to wear modestly, because this is what I'm having difficulty in. I'm wearing layers when I'm wearing leggings and then skirt, and then it's too hot, and then it's not practical. Yeah, it's not practical. So I gave you a hint of what I'm planning to do.
Exclusively here in Saudi Lifestyle Week.
Thank you for your question.
Thank you, Maryam.
So if this is the end of our Q&A segment, I'd love to thank each and one of the guests who are on the panel discussion. You guys have added so much, not only to the stock, but to the field. So I would personally like to thank you. And I'm wishing you all the strength to continue and spread awareness in the field. And you guys are such an integral part of Saudi's vision. And I think not only Saudi's vision, but the international vision for fashion sustainability. Thank you all for being here. And thank you for being so interactive with us during the discussion.
That's true. I was just going to say that.